if anyone needs to hear this too, like, and you are like, maybe have turned away from God at any point in life too, or like you're kind of confused, like press in and he'll meet you like exactly where you are.
What's up, people? So this week was Cameron Conolly and Nicole Denise. Nicole's already been a guest. I've been trying not to do any repeat guests until episode 25 or 30. We're very close. This should be episode 24, I believe. But Cameron asked to come on a little bit ago, and I think it just ended up working out that why not have a third person on with Nicole, who's knows me really well and knows her really well. So yeah, this is one of those podcasts, man, where it's so touching. Like, you can really just feel God's presence and the joy of faith, which is something I've been, missing and lacking at different points in my life, especially. So it's just such a encouraging conversation. Like I said, it was humorous, it was hilarious, it was holy, it was honest. Wow, there's like 4 H's right there. Yes, I did practice the 4 H's a little bit beforehand, but no one needs to know that. That aside, I'm just so excited to continue to have these conversations just about faith and the honest side of faith, not the church side, not the dogma side of faith, not the performance side of faith, but the honest and real and raw parts of faith. And so I hope you guys get as much out of this as I did doing it, especially just recording it and listening back to everything. There's just so many different nuggets that Cameron was dropping them left and right. Same with Nicole. They give a couple testimonies in part 2 of this podcast. That's another thing. So we were originally going to just do like an hour and a half, and then we did, I think, 2 hours and change. So I'm going to split up into 2 parts. Part 1 will be an hour, and part 2 will be an hour 15, something around that. So thank you all for listening. I hope you guys, once again, are blessed by these conversations I'm having with faith and just learning about other people's experiences with God, because that's what this is really about, man. It's just kind of the community that we can have with each other and just learning from each other's stories. But that's just the way that Christians should be, is that just always having that communication, that relational stuff. So my intro is about to be 2 minutes, so I'm cutting it here. See you guys. Peace. What's up, guys? This is The Last House on Left. This is where I chop it up with my friends.
Kill time.
And
speak
my mind.
Yeah, there we go. Well, today, guys, I have I have 2 special guests. One is an ex. An ex?
Wow. I thought you were about to call me an ex-girlfriend.
I would say a vet.
Definitely not, sis. No, I have a
almost.
Yeah.
Right?
Last house on the left, veteran.
We're more like husband and wife at this point.
Now Vitor's gonna kill me, and I'm just gonna be dead when I go in bed. I'll just be home, and there'll be like a knife out of my neck.
No.
So, what I was trying to say. Also, we're gonna do our best to not interrupt each other. Something we talked about. Nicole already interrupted me, but it's a little bit of that verbal jousting, as Joshua Hartling would say back in the day. But so, as everyone knows, Nicole is here, but I have a new guest, Cameron Conolly, in the house.
I'm so happy to be here.
How do you feel right now? Are you excited? Are you nervous? I'd be nervous if I were you. This is like a big deal.
Oh, it is, honestly. I'm very honored to be here, everybody. Thank you so much, Ben. It's an honor and a blessing.
Okay, not nervous, because I was like getting amped up by listening to the Cheetah Girls on the way here.
Okay.
So like I feel like that's the best way to like pump up yourself. I did that in the gym yesterday too, and leg day went crazy.
That's so funny.
You do leg day as a girl?
That's the only day girls.
That came out wrong. I didn't mean it like that.
No,
I don't know a lot.
That's actually
That's
a
the
thing.
best. Did you know that women...
Girly pops, their legs are strong.
Yeah, men are more strong upper body wise, and women are stronger lower body wise.
Really?
Like our upper body is a lot weaker compared to our lower body, and it's vice versa for guys.
But
well, so tell me, what is your leg day routine? That's a good. I have a couple fitness.
Hey, I've been doing leg day too. I got those adjustable weights for Christmas.
She squats Lincoln.
And I've been, honestly.
And Theo.
But I've been working out just at home. But tell your workout.
Okay.
Thing first.
Well, so I feel like it switches up because I go to the Y in Nashua, and it's really busy right now, especially like where it's kind of like the beginning of the year. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I started off doing, I feel like, the leg press, and then I did know. I don't know the names of them. I just know what I'm doing. Like the ones where you like push your legs down and it works your hamstrings. Abductions. I don't know. I did those.
Yeah, I'm tracking with you.
And then kickbacks, which I love, but I only was able to do I wasn't able to finish my set on my left leg, which I was so depressed about, but I started getting dizzy.
Really?
I was like,
so that's
probably
funny.
a good time to stop.
So a couple of my friends that are like really into weightlifting, they'll do leg day and they'll be like, dude, I was shaking. I almost vomited.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys are nuts. Like, why would you want to go
I love
and do
leg
that?
day.
I was going to say you
it
love
hurts.
to vomit. I was like, no.
It hurts, but it hurts so good.
Well,
yeah, today I am sore.
I do have to ask. Leg day has to work out the booty, right? That's like
That's the number one
get
reason.
that summer body.
Yeah.
I'm not in my summer body right now. I just came from Atlanta and I ate bad for like 4 days straight. 5.
That's okay. That
That's
was
bulking.
vacation.
You're bulking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you
Yeah.
got to cut.
something like that. I remember like Ryan was always talking about like bulking and cutting, and I was like, yeah, I'll try to. I don't know what that means. So isn't that just where that's bulking is where you eat more? Is it protein? What
You
is
just
it?
Like
eat more in
like
general.
a man. Like
yeah.
you would eat like a normal man or
like a lot.
like a large man,
And
but I would just eat like a man. But I
normal
can't
man.
eat that much. Like
You have to even
it's- yeah.
bodybuilders have to force themselves. You have
Yeah.
to, like if you bulk, like you have to eat a ton, but then you also have to go to the gym probably at least twice a day. And then once you do that, you're not doing a lot of cardio. Like I think you do more like powerlifting.
Yeah.
And then when you cut, you go on to like you cut all your food down, you eat more like greens and stuff, and you do more cardio, and then it like get snatched.
Yeah.
People after their cuts though look like they're dead. Like
I
they look
know.
like
A
they're sick.
corpse.
It's really not that good.
Yeah.
That's for the body weight lifting competitions though. They cut and then they like that's when they do all those poses. I had a friend that always used to do those like body weightlifting competitions. We played varsity basketball together at Merrimack.
girl.
Yeah. And she got
Spray
into it.
tans.
Yeah, she would do the spray tans and she was super into the bulking and cutting. I couldn't.
Or you could just do steroids.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Well, I'm like, how none of that stuff can be that natural. Like, if you start looking up like some of this stuff, it's so my friend Cecilia, she's really into the gym. Shout out to you, Cecilia. Maybe I'll have you on sometime. But the her friend, like she has a friend that like I followed on Instagram or whatever, and I'm like, this girl has to be on steroids because I'm like, I saw her like once at like either a bar or a restaurant, and then like a couple months later, Shane's like, oh, did you see this person like started competing? I'm like, oh no. And then he's like, this is what happens when you start competing. Like it's no longer natural.
No,
But then I'm like,
yeah.
there has to be ways where
I don't think it's a good look. Like I mean, for some people that's what they want. I don't think I would ever want like that specific look, but that's just me.
Yeah,
I just want to be fit and like healthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
something new for this
Get
year
the-
that I'm
the
taking
gains,
into.
the booty
Yeah,
gains.
Absolutely.
Dude, I was just thinking, remember like the first thing we talked about when I did my podcast with you is like me eating ice cream in my bed and then like Nike eating,
yeah,
eating-
and then yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
left
my
it
life.
in the like you put it
My
in the
the
trash,
trash,
and she
yeah.
ate it, right?
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, we're talking about this, and Ben eats ice cream in his bed.
Yeah. Did you listen to the
All
Nicole
by
episode?
myself. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Of course I did.
Of
That's
course,
my
she
bestie.
listened to it like 100 times actually.
100? How many times did you listen to it? Maybe once.
Once.
Good. Hey, I at least one view per viewer is.
I
doesn't enough.
want Vitor to listen to it too, but he didn't.
He's a
Tell
busy
him to
man.
listen
you
to
know?
it
He's
at
busy.
work. No excuses. Come
He
on,
did
Vitor.
offer that. He's like, if you still want me to come on, like I'll make it happen. And the next time he'll probably come on. I don't know if it'll be a solo one or if we'll do third wheeling.
Yeah, that's
With him.
he wants to do third wheeling.
He's third wheeling right now.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, usually the third wheeling is a couple, and you guys are just old friends.
Old friends. We go way back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tell
All
me,
my life back.
tell the audience since you're here, because I was originally going to have you on, and then we figured we just really Nicole's third wheeling if you're
Yeah,
thinking.
I'm an
Oh.
afterthought.
Because we're both single, right?
Yes.
And Nicole's married. So.
I am.
Not saying this is a date or anything. It could be.
No, you guys are courting, and I'm the one that's
Courting?
supervising
Oh my
you.
gosh,
yeah.
this is like Bridgerton.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm supervising your courting.
That's
Ow.
hilarious.
That
I know.
hurt.
I'm sorry. I need to get a bigger table because it's definitely like tight over there, and I apologize.
It's Nicole's gains that she's doing from hitting leg
Oh,
day.
yeah.
Oh, you're wearing a Naruto sweatshirt, by the way.
You
Nice.
said that's so weird because you listen to it in English, don't you? You don't listen to it in Japanese.
I don't listen to it. Period.
Oh.
Though
how to
not
speak
in a bad
Japanese,
way. Naruto's cool. I just I would draw him as a kid because like Greg would be really into it. Me and
Oh,
Greg
yeah.
would draw a lot when we were younger.
Greg, you know what's good.
Yeah. Shout out to you,
Naruto
Greg.
is the best anime.
Yeah. What was the question I asked you? Oh yeah. How did you guys? How did this come to be?
It's
Your
a forced friendship.
It is. Go ahead, Cameron.
So-
I'll let you start.
Yeah. So
Cameron.
my mom and her mom, they met in college. Do you want me to go this far back?
I mean,
We
you
got
I mean,
time.
that's kind of where it
Yeah,
starts.
you're gonna have
Hey, the
to.
clock is just depends on Nicole. So
Yeah.
just hurry up. We're at 7 minutes. So.
All right. Sounds good. I'll be
I'm, just
quick.
kidding. I'm just kidding. Just messing.
But I was gonna say that's what he said, but but no, Nicole and I's mom, they
Bless
met
you.
at college, and they actually, did you know they didn't really like each other at first?
I
my
think
mom would like.
said that. Yeah.
So your mom
No,
was always on time. And
Yeah,
like,
your mom thought my mom was stuck up,
yes, and
which
like
she probably was.
Wow.
They just
Well,
Throwing
my mom came from a very like her family growing up was not like Terry's family.
they're like posh.
Yeah, my grandparents are very cold, not friendly. They're not super
We do
loving.
love them.
They're
They have their own love about them, and when you learn, it grows on you. I love them.
yeah. That's a good way to describe
You
it.
have great facial expressions, by the way. Like, yeah, like the face of
Well,
like
you
a
better
picture
hope
speaks
that they
a
don't
thousand
listen
words.
to this.
Are you kidding?
Oh, they're going
They
to.
barely
They
know
better.
what
They need to
I know,
subscribe.
right?
they don't know what a podcast is. 1000%.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
Continue.
so my mom grew up like in like the woods. Like she's just like very like hillbilly kind of like hick family. Like,
Hillbilly.
think of like the Hannah Montana movie, but like the hick side of her
Hannah
family.
Montana.
That's like my
Wow.
mom. That's how she kind of grew up. Is like
But her family is amazing. Her mom's family, like her
they're pretty great.
her parents, her grandfather literally acts as if I'm his granddaughter too. Like he always kisses me. Like I remember when we went to
Not in a weird way.
no, like my cheek or my forehead. And when we went to Whited Bible Camp when we were younger, I remember he gave me like a $20 bill to get like snacks at the canteen that they had.
That's a lot of money.
I
That's a
know,
lot of
and
snacks.
in like middle school. Yeah.
And that was a
20
lot
bucks.
for me. My mom, I don't think my mom had given me any money to spend, like, or like it was just like maybe a couple dollars. And so he was like, I want you to have this. And I felt bad. Like, I didn't want to take it. And I was like, no, like, please, I don't want to take this from you. And he's like, no, sometimes you just have to accept the blessing. And I was like, okay, you're right. And so I did. And he's just, I love your grandfather. He is the sweetest man. But continue. I'm sorry.
I think the way to put this too is her mom grew up Catholic and my mom grew up Pentecostal. Like if you can like
Oh.
imagine that,
yeah.
that's I feel like the simplest way to do it. But they ended up becoming friends. My mom would like sit next to Sharon and Sharon would give my mom candy.
Yes.
Nice. Isn't it such a shame on a random note? I don't want to go down this rabbit trail because I'll just start going. But the whole Catholic Protestant thing has definitely been on the front of my mind lately. So that's
Yeah.
interesting that they made that. I mean, one of my closest friends is Catholic, and I know several Catholics. So.
Nothing wrong with
Catholic.
Catholics.
No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, I'm
Catholics can go to heaven.
You know what?
I'm totally
yeah, they
kidding.
definitely can. They definitely can. Everyone clarify that. No, it's funny because I would say most of the, if I had to sit down with like say like some friends of mine or kids I went to high school with, and we went down like the theological points or whatever, a lot of people would probably think I'm like way far out there. Not saying I'm this like fringe person or whatever.
You're with the right group tonight. Then.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Well, hey, I believe in all the spiritual gifts. So back. in the
We-
day-
Gosh, we were gonna talk about that. In a
We
little bit.
literally
Cool.
were talking
Sounds
about
great.
this. Yeah. And like, because of her mom and family, well, she'll tell most of it, but my family started to become more Protestant. And so because of that, our families have kind of like merged. So my family definitely believes in all the gifts. And I've seen a lot of stuff when we went to the camp up north. But okay.
What camp was
sorry.
this?
It's called, which honestly, now that I think about it, why was it called Whited Bible Camp?
I don't even
Like
know.
white with a D.
Whited.
I think
like,
that was just the name of it. That's where my mom went. to
white.
Bible
Yeah,
camp.
white with a D. Yeah, which I've thought about it over the years. Now that I'm older, and I'm
It's a
like,
racist thing.
I know because I don't. Yeah, I do feel like it was
there-
kind of like
Were there black people there though?
I don't remember.
It's New
There's
Hampshire.
okay. There's
so
not
no.
a lot.
It was
that in
Maine.
and there's not a lot of black
northernmost
people
Maine.
in
Like
New
we were like
England.
5 minutes away from Canada, and there was. I'm pretty sure it was all white people, which makes it worse.
I
Honestly,
feel like there might have been like a couple of like mixed guys or like maybe one black guy.
maybe.
But anyway, so that's how like they met, was in class, and then they just like ended up getting close. I think your mom had gone through like a pretty bad breakup,
Mhm.
and like she was really just like searching, and my mom was like, okay, like let's go to church. And then so my mom was going, I think her freshman year, to this like Pentecostal church, Christian Bible church in Nashua, and then she brought Sharon there, and then that's kind of where Sharon found like, I think like God
Oh,
outside of
Lord
like
Jesus.
Catholicism.
Yeah, like she didn't. I don't think she really
Good
knew
stuff.
about Jesus before then.
Yeah.
yeah,
Never they never
removed
preached
herself
about
from
that.
religion.
Yeah,
But yeah, and then the rest is history. They've been friends for like
they would have been
50 something
like, let's
years.
say 18.
Yeah.
So, well, how old how old are our parents? My mom was born in 66.
My
So
mom's
she's
also
about
born
to
in
be
66.
60.
Yeah.
So they've been best friends for 40 years.
Yeah. But the craziest thing to think about is like by the time Nicole and I are going to be their age, we're going to be friends for like
However old
60
we are.
years. I have to be 60, but
Yeah.
there's like pictures of us just like growing up together.
You
But-
weren't. I'm just like just a little over a year older than you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But I feel like as we've gotten older, like I feel like it went from like, oh, we just have to be around each other, and now I feel like we do definitely like have just such a greater appreciation for like each other's, because it's just like
I always loved you growing up too.
no, I
though.
did-
Were you
Like,
guys
I-
tight in high school?
You
For-
were dating Vitor,
For
so
people,
I feel like
Yeah.
really quickly for the audience who doesn't know. So I like if we go by grades wise, I was 2 grades older than Nicole and 3 older than you, right? So you would have been a freshman. You were a
How old are you
sophomore.
now, Ben? So
I'm
you're
26.
27.
I'm 26, almost 27.
When are you turning 27?
April 20th, baby.
Yes, that's right. 420. I have
D-Day.
it saved on my calendar.
Yeah, and
That's
Hitler's
such a-
And
birthday.
today
Oh.
it's Easter. It's Easter this year because I was
Really?
looking through my calendar
Wow.
and I saw that your birthday was on Easter this
Sorry, I
year.
put Easter first instead of those other.
goes
We day.
Easter 420 and Hitler's birthday.
No, Hitler's birthday isn't even on the list. We
Yeah, that's really
just
actually-
scratch that out.
yeah.
Yeah,
I am
scratch-
German.
Nice.
You are?
Super German. Yeah,
I'm part
Sonntag-
German, too.
Sonntag is Sunday in German if you add another N.
Easter
Wow.
Sunday.
Yeah, and then
Ben Sunday.
yeah. Well, it's funny
That's his
because
name.
ben is like obviously super Jewish, so
Benjamin.
it's funny how all that.
What does Ben mean?
Son of my right hand.
So son
Or-
of my right hand Sunday.
Or yeah,
middle
it
name.
also means son, but basically like culturally wise, it means son of my strength. Because
Son of
most
my
people are
strength.
right-handed. Because in the Bible
I'm
times,
left-handed.
if you were left-handed,
You
you were
are.
considered accursed.
Sorry, Cameron.
Yeah. Whoops.
I think God would beg to differ.
yeah.
God is on your side, Cameron.
He is.
Yeah.
Speak it out. I receive it.
I receive.
Okay, but
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, tangent. Ben.
Tangent.
No,
Over.
tangents are welcome.
But yeah,
I'm
we've been
encouraged.
friends going back. Like we were friends in high school. So Nicole left as soon as I pretty much got to NCA. She was there. I went there in like 5th grade, and then it
Oh,
was like
yeah.
2 years,
To play basketball.
and then she left. Yeah, 'cause she was doing AAU and was like
And
a
I was
baller.
playing varsity.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I was like an
traveling.
8th grader.
Yeah, you know.
We went over Nicole's shoe game first time she was on here, so check out that episode, guys. I believe that's episode 17.
Then she tore her ACL.
Or
Rip,
16. No,
rip
50?
ACL.
I don't know. It's one of those.
I still have a bad knee. My knee still hurts to this day.
Me
so
and you
bad.
both, girl.
I think I have to go get like a surgery done again because the guy completely like botched it.
Oh,
Too much lifting up the children.
Sorry to hear
What?
that.
I said too much lifting
Yeah,
up the
a
children.
lot of lifting of the children too,
Well, that
and
would do something
carrying
to
them
your
in my
back,
belly.
right? No, you were episode 15. Sorry, I misspoke there, guys. My bad. To my
15 is a
audience.
good number.
15 is a good number. You know what? I think that was actually my number in high school.
I was 14.
I
Because that was Troy Bolton's number. Wait, speaking of
Troy
basketball,
Bolton,
though,
yeah.
Ben was our assistant coach.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
You know what's funny? Do you know the story behind that as well?
I-
Robert did not want me to be he didn't want me to be the assistant coach.
For the guys or
he
for the
didn't want
girls?
people listening to me, for the boys. So that's why I
Okay.
went over to the girls.
That's-
Also, my cousin Tori did need help, and like she didn't know anyone, and I knew everybody. So
Mhm.
it was good. It was fun.
She's
It
been
was
slaying
fun.
recently.
Yeah, she
I've
coaches,
been seeing her
she
stuff.
coaches ball up now in Keene.
Well, she has those like two babies now.
Doesn't she have another one on the way?
3?
Yeah,
That's
they have
amazing.
another sibling.
They adopted all of them, actually.
They
Insane.
adopted the third one too.
Yeah, they're all the same family, too.
That's
Oh, that's
awesome. Yeah, I
incredible.
remember. I don't know who told me. Was it you or did I see your uncle? I feel like maybe I saw your uncle.
Uncle Paul.
Yeah.
Good old Uncle Paul. Uncle Paul's coming up next, actually. We'll be talking about cults and life in the Peace Corps. And
Oh yeah,
life
he
as a
shared his
pastor.
life. He short. He sorry.
Nicole
System
just
recharge.
Reboot.
He shared his life story that one time your uncle and his wife invited Vitor and I over for like dinner that one time.
How was that?
That was so much fun. They're so sweet.
Yeah.
And I love their dog. Do they
Oh,
have multiple?
Maggie?
Yeah.
Yeah, like black. She's like
She's the
black,
black
and
dog.
black and like she
I
kind of has the
remember
Rottweiler colors, but
Yeah.
she's like shaped like a deer.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
thin.
I love
And
Maggie.
he told us some about the cult stuff. That was very interesting.
He was in a cult.
Yeah. Yeah, super interesting. It was a cult called the Moonies. So
It was small, right?
yeah, it was super small. It wasn't like these cults
It
that are
sounds like
like
it was in the 70s or 60s, right?
yeah.
Probably
So he was
was.
born in the 50s, or my dad was born. No, maybe was he born in the 40s? I'm trying to think. His dad was born in 58.
How
And
much older is
my
he?
uncle is almost 10 years older than my dad. There's a pretty big age gap because there was
Maybe.
Uncle Paul was the oldest, and then they had my other 2 aunts, 2 uncles, and then dad was the youngest. Dad was second to youngest, and then another. So he's one of
Oh,
6.
6 kids?
Yeah,
It's a lot.
that's funny. Like people now have like 3 kids, and they're like, "Look at your big family."
That's gonna be Nicole with 6
but
kids.
but everyone wants to be
I
like
don't know about
Nicole. You
6.
just have your
She
2.
wanted 5.
I do still want
Amara
5.
wants 6. Amara, you can quote me on that. That last time she told me that. I don't know if I
I can
that's fine to
see
mention.
Josh, and like that just makes sense. I haven't seen Josh in a while, but I feel
He's the
like
same.
he wants 6 kids as well.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, you're
I would
saying
just
he's the
say-
same since
yeah,
high school.
Same since high
Yeah,
school.
that doesn't surprise me.
Just a
I
little
miss
wiser.
Amara, and I hope that they have babies soon because I know that she really wants them. She's
6 of them.
always.
Yeah, you probably
wanted them.
want more of your friends to have babies. So you
Oh
can,
my
like,
gosh, yeah. No one. Literally.
Get on
Vitor-
it, Cameron. Come on.
Actually, I'm just kidding.
Fine.
Vitor and I talk all the time. Like, obviously, it's hard for us to go out and stuff now that we have kids, but we're definitely, in our parenting era right now, and no one else is. Like, the only other couple that's married is Emily and Joe. And so we have no like married couple friends, and they don't have kids. So no one understands like the situation that we're in where we go to bed early because we wake up early and we're waking up multiple times during the night.
Yeah.
But we're going to be done with it and you guys are going to be starting it. And so you're going to understand soon what we are in, and we're going to be the ones like, oh, let's go out drinking. Let's go to a bar.
yeah,
And you guys are
those
gonna be
days
like,
are
"Oh."
behind y'all. Those days are behind y'all.
No, you guys are gonna once that you guys find your significant others and start having kids, you're gonna understand what it's like to have children.
Well,
It
just
is
drop 'em off at your
amazing.
house.
It's great, but you will be exhausted.
I'll be like, time to go to Auntie Nicole.
Dude, I told Nicole this last time not to keep like calling back to it, but I was like, I sometimes will go over to her house for like an hour or so, and I'm like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I
I'm
love
not doing
those boys
anything.
though.
Just watching
They
the
are
kids.
Yeah.
they're such good boys though.
Have you
I
even met Lincoln, Ben?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, Angel.
Remember, I went on a walk with like you, and then what's her
Oh.
name, Alicia.
Alicia, yeah. He was born
She's a
then.
young person with a kid. Well, she's what, like 30s maybe.
She is, I think she's 27. She's
Oh,
about to be
okay, cool.
28.
I didn't know.
Yeah, but the dad's not in the picture really.
Yeah. Well, that's someone like that's basically close to your age. But you guys are like pretty young parents. It's
We
funny
are,
how
yeah,
people would think
yeah.
like you're 24.
I just turned 24. Yep.
So Nicole's 25.
Hmm.
So you're pretty young parents.
I am, yeah. I had my first kid at 22. How crazy
I was
is that?
drinking in bars and getting plastered at 22. And I'm
I
so-
still am at 26. No,
I'm glad that
kidding.
that's over though. I feel like I've kind of passed on from that. That was college.
Yeah.
And I was living it up. You know what?
I will say, like, sometimes being a parent at such a young age and like seeing people go out and drink, like there's a part of me that's like, oh, you know what, like I don't really get to experience that, going out and going to bars in my 20s and having fun. But either way, like I'm not single, I'm married. So regardless of that, like I wouldn't be going out anyways because I'm not single. But also even though sometimes it sounds fun to go out, you know, bar hopping or whatever, I've come to like the conclusion in my heart that first of all, I feel like having kids and being married young has saved me from a lot of that, like a lot of like mistakes I could have made going bar hopping, getting drunk, things like that or whatever, like down a different path. But also having kids, like, would I rather be going out to bars and getting drunk and drinking? Or obviously having kids is super hard, but like my kid tells me every day how much he loves me. Last night he held my face like this and he was like caressing my face and held my hair, and Theo said, "You're such a beautiful girl, Mama." Isn't that the sweetest thing ever? Almost. He said stuff like that before. Like, he's just the sweetest boy. So, yes, obviously, like, I miss out on a lot of things. But at the same time, like, I get these special moments with my children. And I get to be young when I have them. And I'm going to have them for my entire life. And I'm going to homeschool them. And it's just really so special having a connection like this. But
yeah.
I feel like your calling was honestly, like, not that there's like one calling for people's lives, because I feel like that can
there's
change.
thousands.
But like Nicole has always wanted to be a mom, like, and that's how her mom is. Though, like they're just very like mom and maternal vibes.
I've always had very maternal instincts. I remember being in church. I don't know if I told you this. I might have said it in the last podcast. I don't know, but I literally remember being in church when I was like 13 or 14 years old, and like on the verge of tears because I saw a mom like holding her baby, and I just wanted a baby so bad, and I just couldn't, like, it just, the feeling was so big inside of me. I couldn't fathom the feeling. And it is nice. Sometimes I'm like, I need a break, but I will tell you that having kids is the biggest blessing, and it is really hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever done, for sure. It is exhausting because there are no days off. Like, when I don't feel good or they don't feel good, I don't have a choice.
That's terrifying.
So that's probably
Simply
what's
terrifying.
one of the hardest things. But it's so worth it, and it'll get easier. It's just hard right now. It'll get easier.
Yeah, that's like an interesting thing. Really quickly, I know you were going to say something, Cam. Is that like some people, you know, really popular with like girls like our age, are like, they're very much rejecting of the whole, like, I don't need to be a mom. I can be a self-independent woman. But I would totally agree with the point you said earlier, where you're like, you feel called to that, because I know some moms are just like built to do that. Like, I would say like you're definitely one. Even this girl that I graduated with, I remember saying, "Oh wow, she just wanted to be a mom and be married." And then, like I said, I could name drop other people. I don't need to name drop them, but like, it's not like, if that's what you wanted, like if that's what someone wants to do, it's just, you never want, like, say in this instance we're talking about mothers, so obviously girls, like, as long as someone, if it's like of your own accord, it's like, do it, like, absolutely lean into that. But also, the biggest thing is, like, you just got to hear from God. You need to have a personal relationship with God where you just are able to hear God's voice, which is a lot of times what people don't. That's really I feel like the first step when you come out of, you know, whether it's high school or college or whatever environment you're in. So
I actually have a story about that too.
Go for it.
Kind of going off of like Nicole's thing of like, you feel like you missed out. I remember I was in Colorado, and I was doing substances that are illegal here, but legal there. And
Sure.
when you're up there too, the elevation is so much higher. And I was,
That probably affects
like, so it affects you. Like, you get drunk way faster. And at this point, I wouldn't say, like, I still loved the Lord. I was not serving him. But I remember, like, that night was probably the worst drunk I've ever gotten in my whole entire life. And like, I grew up. I was like in a sorority. Like, we'd go out every single weekend.
I was going to ask you about that. That was one of my questions.
Like, I have my fair share of like drunk memories, but like, this was the worst, and I don't remember.
At least you have memories.
I was gonna say, did you black out?
I did black out, and I I got
never
sick
blacked out
on the bed on myself, and there
I've
was
never
like a
blacked out either.
There was a come to Jesus moment though, because I was dating this guy at the time, and I
Is
remember.
this Nate?
This is Nate, yeah. I remember telling him, I'm like, and it was like so weird, because I'm like, I remember saying, like, if we ever get married, like, I want to raise my kids in the church. Like, that's how I grew up. Like, I want them to have hope like that. And I remember being like blackout drunk, like literally sick, saying this to him of like, you have to, like, we're gonna have to. And then when we got home from that trip, he broke up with me. Honestly,
Hmm.
I was so disappointed though. I don't know why, because I was kind of seeing it coming. Like I was probably either gonna break up with him, but like it was a come to Jesus moment in like my
Yeah.
lowest of lows. And obviously I didn't understand it. It took me so long to get to even where like I am now. Like I feel like
It's taken all of us long to
Yeah.
where we've got to now, so not just
Yeah.
you.
But like there was definitely like I would say I was serving God really not really well, but like in high school and that stuff it's easy, and then you get to college and it gets like lows, and then you meet people who aren't serving God and it's easy to just like
And fun.
Yeah.
They show you a lot of things that
Yep.
you're not, shown when you're in high school
Yeah.
and Christian school.
but
Yeah.
God really took a hold of me like in that moment. It took me I would say probably 6 months later till like I actually got on the up and up and was like going back to church and kind of like hearing
Yeah.
about it. But it's been seriously such a blessing, and I'm like every day I'm like, God, like why did you pull me out of that? Like he didn't have to, you know what I mean? But like the goodness of God
Yeah.
and just that like he meets us and he gives us second chances is like
Oh,
absolutely
yeah.
incredible. And
Not
I'm like,
just second chances, but third,
Yeah.
fourth, fifth, sixth,
I was
seventh.
just gonna say that.
yeah, he meets you exactly where you are every single time. If anyone needs to hear this too, like, and you are like maybe have turned away from God at any point in life too, or like you're kind of confused, like press in and he'll meet you like exactly where you are.
Yeah. I think that's great
Amen.
advice. I think with a lot of that too, it's just that like say since we're kind of on the topic of like say going out or whatever, like I'm still someone that goes out here and there and whatever. I felt like personally for me too, I avoided a good some of the normal pitfalls that someone would go through at that age because I didn't go to college and whatever. And that was when, so I got out a very quick story. I graduated in 2016, worked at Target. As I was working at Target, I wanted to like basically not be where I was. All my friends were in college, all this stuff. And so I basically had to work on my relationship with God at that time, like doing 4 a.m.s at Target and not knowing what I wanted to do and feeling all like hot and bothered about it. But
That's
it just
most
takes
people
time.
though. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people feel that way.
It's interesting too. You said how it took you like 6 months or whatever to. Did you say what was the word you used? Recover or whatever?
Be on the up and up.
Like the up and up, yeah. So like I would say like for that 6 months I was really just like mad at God for like being like, well now I'm like single and alone, because again I was like probably not the most secure person at that point. And like I think I would say I wouldn't say it took me 6 months, maybe like 3 months, and then I got involved in a woman's Bible study. But like it was really, I don't even remember the study. Like the women that spoke into me during that time were like amazing. I was crying every single Bible study just about like how
Yeah.
broken I felt I was.
It's so interesting that you said being mad at God. This is actually probably a good time. I was thinking about doing a mini video to re-clarify this. I also talked about this with Nicole about like being angry with God is not a sin at all. The way I described it when I was with Nicole wasn't I just didn't describe it the best way. What I'm saying is that like just when it comes to like true honesty about like your feelings and what's all the subliminal stuff, because everyone is afraid to sometimes speak their mind about things about God, faith, or whether it's Christian tradition or church tradition or what you think as like, yeah, it just kind of boils down to that verse where like Paul talks about like boasting in your weakness, because that's where like you can really help people, just like you were mentioning a second earlier to the camera. And so I think that's one of the things where I say always part of if I'm sharing my testimony or just sharing my faith in God actually grew when I started doubting God. I remember I got to a point where I was just like, God, I had like a couple things just specifically on the top of my mind. We both know, we don't have to name drop them, but there was a person that was part of a church that we grew up in that like was basically at the time had some, basically just
Relations.
he had a scandal basically. And that was one of my, that was at the time my mentor. So it was like a huge, big deal at the time. And I remember I was telling my Uncle Paul this. I was like, this is just terrible. Like, I honestly want to leave the faith. This is not like what I wanted and whatever. And I remember my uncle said like, even though this is like extremely hard for you, Bet, I'm glad you're going through this. And I was like, what did you just say? But down the line, my uncle was totally right. And later it was an awesome dialogue that me and my uncle were able to have. But yeah, I just wanted to add on to that, because that's where I also just feel like too, just aside, like people like say to take something like alcohol or partying, whatever. Obviously it's like there is a little bit of a line there depending upon who you're with, because it like many parties and many people groups are like totally different than, like, I have some friends, if they say they're doing partying, it means one thing. Like, have another group of friends saying like, oh, we're going hard tonight, it's a totally different thing.
It's them playing like board games and having like a White Claw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, sometimes people don't even want to. Like, I have some friends that like don't even really drink as much anymore because it's just like a control thing, or it's hard. Like everyone, not that I don't even want to go down the whole road of like everyone has their vice or whatever. But when it comes to, what helped, it was just like have more, like actually talk, like, I'm not trying to talk at somebody, but I was like, just have more. I would encourage people, or whoever, like you two are in front of me, which Nicole does the same thing to me. It's like, just have open talks with God about everything in your life.
Yeah.
Sometimes like I just have assumed things. I'm like, I feel like I have a pretty good, I was brought up in a great home, but my parents also did let me think for myself. Mm-hmm. But even then, with all that, I still have these like preconstructed like thoughts or
predispositions.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So
you had to make your faith your own.
Yeah, and my faith was kind of already my own, but
stronger.
It just took a while. I just think too, like, if people like, an interesting thing too when it comes to drinking, like for me, like I have a pretty high like tolerance, so it would take like a lot of drinks for me to get drunk, right? But when it comes to like some people, it's like, well, what are your actual intentions? So, and my thing was like, I would never like overly. Now, I think also, this is me once again. I was telling you how I cut myself off my own thoughts. Here's a great example of that. There's always a verse where people say, "Don't be drunk with wine and filled with the Holy Spirit." That's those conversations and stuff like that's what I love to have with people these days. I wish like more people could. Not everyone wants to talk about it on a podcast in front of 25 to 100 viewers, depending upon the amount of time that it's on YouTube. But be all that to say is that, dude, just have these honest, open conversations with God, because God cares about what you think. And a lot of us just assume these things. Like, because you're assuming things, it's just taking so much. You fall into religion so quickly,
and that's
whatever, and it's really dangerous.
Yeah, that is so dangerous. And I feel like honestly, that's what a lot of people, when they like are mad at God, it's not necessarily God that they're mad at. It's at people who have disappointed them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
honestly, like, I know exactly who you're talking about. That person was someone who was pretty impactful in my life. I babysitted their kids.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I was around them all the time.
And like, that was a really driving factor for me to leave the church as well.
Yeah.
I feel like honestly for all of us, because it was someone who had such impact on our lives that also was just.
And it was also like never addressed,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
it's not like anything was ever forgiven, or no one asked for forgiveness. So that I feel like that made it worse, because there was never closure and never any like forgiveness.
I think that's kind of a reason why I have the stances that I do. If you catch my drift on
I do.
that place. So yeah. Anyways, so I just think too, we all get in these habits or times where you just get wrapped up in your own thing. I'm like, dude, sometimes people, like, I'm a verbal processor.
Really?
Yeah, he is, but he doesn't always speak correctly as he
you
verbally
slurred your
processes.
first word on this podcast. It wasn't me. It was you. No. I just, what I want, people just say, people just got to come to it on their own. But I wish that if people are just honest about some things, like your faith will be just much better if, like, I don't know, just like read the Bible, man, because the Psalms like are like super, like David's super low in times, and all
Lamentations, ever heard of it? It's literally lamenting like on life.
Yeah. And that's like a heavy book too. Shout out to you, because if you read Lamentations.
I'm going through the Bible right now, and I'm on Leviticus, and that's hard. I just got through like the incest section of like, don't sleep with like your brother.
Your sister.
I'm like, Sweet
Or
Home
your mother,
Alabama.
yeah.
The Sweet Home Alabama is
Sweet
this.
Home Alabama.
But yeah, honestly, too, like even going back on your point of like being angry, like being nice is not a fruit of the Holy Spirit. Like,
It's true.
let's think about that for
Jesus
a second.
was angry.
When
Jesus
he flipped
was
the
angry.
tables, like
He was. Yes.
Yeah.
you don't have to be nice.
I'm,
You have to be loving, and you have to have joy, love, joy, peace. Wait. Love,
Yeah,
joy,
no.
peace, patience. That's how I do it. But yeah.
Oh,
those
go
things,
through all of them
but
because I want to see what you sing.
love, joy. You want me to sing it? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Actually, patience too. There's some translations that it's forbearance, which means to be tolerant. That's one that I'm working on.
Yeah.
Of just tolerating people.
I'm
like
working
sometimes-
on all of them, to
Yeah.
be honest.
I mean, yeah. Pray for all of them and pray that God works on you. But that was one
Yeah.
for me that I'm like, ooh,
I've already mastered every single one, so I can
I
give you
know.
guys lessons. on
God can come
Please,
back
yeah,
now and
that's
tell me,
why-
no, she's good.
That's why we had you on, right? Just so you
I'm
could coach
kidding.
us.
I'm so far away from mastering any of them.
I didn't expect
We're all
Nicole to
working
say
on
that.
it. But yeah. Oh, I remembered what we were talking about before we went on this amazing tangent, because anything about God is seriously such a great
What
tangent.
were we talking about?
It was about like if Nicole and I think we're friends. So yes,
Oh.
we've always been friends.
Yeah.
Um,
Since she was born,
yeah,
since I'm a little bit older,
we've been just around each other.
we
But
have pictures of each other in as babies in bathing suits holding
yeah.
hands.
She was my prom date
Aw.
freshman year, and that's how
Yes.
she met Vitor,
That is how I
or
met
first
Vitor.
saw Vitor.
Yeah, he says. Well, he originally said he didn't remember me.
So I'm responsible for this union.
Yes, she
Yeah,
is.
wow.
I explained in the last podcast how we met too. I think I explained all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the person that took me on that prom date.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Wow.
and then the rest is history. And now I'm
24
the aunt
years
to their
later.
boys. They're Cece.
Yes, they are. They call her Cece because her mom is Titi to me.
Her name's Terry too. So that's
Because-
why they call her
Terry, if you're listening, shout out to you.
My older brother couldn't say Terry, so he called her Titi, and now everybody calls her Titi. And Cameron is Cece now. She's continuing
CC
it.
Winans.
Cece. It's actually like my
Oh,
favorite.
because of your name. Yeah.
Yes,
First
Cameron
one.
Conolly, Cameron. It's actually my favorite thing too. Like, I remember I came in your house. It was for, I don't even know. We were just like hanging out.
Was it the Mexican night? Food
Yeah.
night?
So I came in and Theo was still up,
Mhm.
and I walk in the door. He's like, Cece!
It was really
And
cute.
he does it so many times. Like
He
Nicole.
doesn't like me. I don't know what to do. What gifts can I get
Call
him?
him BB.
When is he gonna be like
He
into
loves
Legos?
Bluey. They have Lego Duplo.
What's Bluey? Is that like Blow?
Bluey, no,
It's
it's
a
a
dog.
it's a little animated dog show for kids. It's super cute. He also likes Mickey, which by the way is something that I wanted to talk about too because Vitor's taking us to Disney. I'm so excited.
Wow! Congrats.
Yes, I've been begging him for years because I love Disney so much. We're going in like 2 months. I'm very
Sick.
excited.
Just
And
you four.
Yeah, just a couple days. Yeah, we have to go to Brazil too. So
Brazil.
Vitor is like, we'll go to Disney because I've been wanting to go for forever. Well, since Theo was born. Obviously not when he's a newborn, but I want to go while he's still young. So he still like believes in it. So he's like, wow, this is all real, you know? And so
Hopefully he
we're
crushes
going to
dreams.
bring him and we're probably not going to be able to go for a long time because Vitor's schedule is getting really busy at work. And
Yeah.
he's only guaranteed his salary right now until September. Once September hits, he's on his own, like with clients and sales. And so he's not guaranteed this amount. So he's like, let's go before the guaranteed allotment of time is over. And then we probably won't be able to go again for at least probably 4 or 5 years. But I'm excited. And Harry Potter World. We're gonna go to Universal.
So tell me, speaking of Harry Potter world, should I pull up this this picture of you on Facebook?
This is a
When
great
you're,
picture.
Oh, is
The
this
one
my new
from
profile
the new
picture?
one.
Yeah, give me a second to pull it up.
Yes, that's what Vitor and I did for Valentine's Day.
So what was it?
That was the Harry Potter exhibition in Boston. It's like a traveling exhibition, and it has like real props and stuff from the movies. And
There's our girl.
So cute.
yes,
at her.
so this is the cupboard under the stairs
Little
where it all
muggle.
began. I'm not a muggle.
What's the word if you're not a muggle?
A wizard.
Just wizard.
Muggle is when you're not a wizard.
I know that.
Okay. Yeah. So just wizard or witch. But yeah, so we went to the Harry Potter exhibition in Boston. It's in Boston right now.
That's new, isn't it?
Well, it travels. So it was in New York for like 6 months. Yeah, it's like literally like almost like not a circus, but it's a traveling exhibition. So they go to like major cities. It was in New York City for like 6 months last year, and then it moved to Boston. And it just has a bunch of props from the movies, a bunch of like interactive things that you can do. Super, super fun, super cute. It was about an hour and a half that we spent there, and then we got some food. It was really good. It was called Buttermilk and Bourbon. It's like a New Orleans style restaurant, and so it's tapas, and they had the best fried chicken sliders that I have ever had. They were so good, and like they also had fresh biscuits with honey and some cinnamon butter, and they had like these honey glazed ribs that Vitor got. And because it's tapas, you share everything. You order like 3 or 4 plates and then you share. The fried chicken sliders were so good. They had coleslaw and pickles and hot honey on it.
You
oh
like
my
pickles?
gosh. I do.
Yeah.
I'm not like my Theo will literally ask for pickles for lunch and just eat them. I'm not
Dill
like
or
that.
sweet?
Dill.
Callie was like that. She still loves pickles, but like she had an obsession.
Yeah, Theo has a really bad obsession. I have to be like, Theo, Vitor will give it to him for breakfast because
Holy
he just
cow.
wants Theo to be like on his good side, and like it's a pickle, it's not a cookie.
He wants his dad to be on his good side.
It's probably honestly really
Theo,
good for you.
Vitor wants to be on his good side because he's a mama's boy. Both of my boys are mama's boys. So Vitor's like, yeah, you can have a pickle. It's not a cookie, but like, I'm like, don't give him pickles for breakfast, okay?
Vitor's catching
Pickles
strays.
for breakfast.
So yes, Theo loves pickles.
That's probably
Sorry,
honestly
short.
really good for like gut health though. Like
Yeah.
the vinegar in that.
He also loves
Not
like
that he needs it. He's like
I
3.
know. Every day he eats like red peppers and hummus for lunch. We can't put any fat on him. He's so tall and so skinny. Because all he eats are fruits and vegetables, and he will not eat anything else.
Damn, that's a good habits to have.
I know. I
huh?
wish I was like that. I have about 15 pounds to go until I'm back to my pre-pregnancy weight. I've lost
Wow.
30 pounds
Congrats.
since
man. You
my
look good.
since I was 9 months pregnant. 8 pounds of that was Lincoln, though. So technically, I've only lost 27.
Hey, that's
Or
fine.
20.
Like I said, you
23,
didn't even have to
22.
mention it. So I know you did update it or mention that last time you were on.
I know. It's important to me because I want to get back to my pre-pregnancy weight.
Yeah.
It's so it's so hard going from like your weight and then gaining a bunch of weight and then losing it again.
drastically,
Multiple imagine
having your hormones. change
yeah,
on top of that.
gaining
I'm like,
40
oh,
pounds
gosh.
in 9 months, losing 40 pounds in 9 months, gaining 40 pounds in 9 months, losing 40 pounds in 9 months. Like,
I
Yeah,
can't. Yeah,
it's
I
hard.
don't know how that is. That must be rough. Thank God I don't have to go through that.
can you imagine if guys had to carry babies? I feel like there would be no children ever
No, there wouldn't
because
be.
they couldn't do it.
It'd all die
Periods
out.
they couldn't handle.
No, for sure.
I saw a thing recently though that's like a lot of the contributors of like morning sickness have to do with like men. Like if men like
Really?
ate healthy and that stuff for like the first like I don't know. This is supposedly what I mean. I saw it. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's like if they like took care of themselves really well, like women, I guess during that period wouldn't have as much. But
Interesting.
who knows if that's true?
I've
Men,
never heard
step
that.
it up.
Yeah.
Husbands,
You gotta
boyfriends.
prepare the
Side
first 9
dudes.
months before it happens. Yeah, side dudes.
Vitor always, as soon as I'm pregnant, even when he doesn't know it, he starts craving weird things. Like when I was pregnant with
Do I have to cut this out?
no.
Sympathy cravings.
Yes, it's called sympathy cravings. Like as soon as I was pregnant with Lincoln, and we didn't even know it yet. For like a week, we didn't know when I was pregnant. And he was like, I need to go get a beer. And he never drinks beer at home.
I was gonna say he doesn't drink anymore, right?
No, I mean, he will. Like if he goes out to like a sports bar, like with my dad to watch a game or something, they always do like for fantasy football.
Nice.
stuff like that. Or for March Madness, they'll do little competitions with each other, and then whoever loses has to take the other person out, and he'll get a beer if they go out to like a burger place or a wing place. But yeah, so he was like, I have to go get a beer, and he went in and got a beer, and he doesn't really like pickles, and I'm pretty sure he was craving pickles too, and then I was pregnant. I found out a few days later, so it's just weird how that happens.
Yeah. All my cravings are the same things.
Ice cream.
You know what I was
Ice
craving
cream,
recently?
Pringles,
I'm not pregnant,
Long Island iced tea.
but chicken and biscuits.
Chicken and biscuits. You should go to that restaurant that I went
So
to then.
good.
They had chicken and waffles.
Like a fried chicken and a biscuit, and I
Yeah.
wanted to get it while I was in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't even get barbecue in Texas, and I feel like I don't know. Actually, we got Whataburger, but we didn't get any barbecue, which I was kind of
Yeah, I always thought
So I had to go back
Whataburger was
in.
just kind of,
Isn't that a fast food place?
yeah.
I
It's like
wanted to go to
Sonic,
In-N-Out.
right?
Yeah,
I heard In-N-Out's decent.
yeah.
In-N-Out.
Whataburger was good though. I mean, we hadn't.
What is it? Whataburger or water?
Whataburger. Isn't there like a Kenan Thompson thing? It's like, get your burger. What is that?
Well,
You know
it's
what I'm
Mark
talking
Wahlberg. That's their whole franchise.
Wahlburgers.
Yeah.
No,
Or
that's
you're
different.
saying what a burger? Okay.
Whataburger.
Whataburger.
Welcome to Whataburger. No, what's that one? It's a Kenan Thompson, Kenan and Kel skit from like Nickelodeon. It's like,
Is that the old
may I
one?
take your order? Like I
Like
don't
what
know.
is it old?
You've been dropping all these like old names. Freaking the Cheetah Girls, Hannah
I
Montana,
know, jeez.
Nickelodeon.
Cameron's living
Wow.
in the 2000s still.
She doesn't miss you. She just misses the 2000s.
Dude, I should have been. I should have been born in '88. Dude, all the music I'm listening to is like.
I feel like this is the year though that like we're kind of reverting to that type of stuff. Like there's obviously some things that can stay in that time frame, but I started wearing headbands again.
You did?
I wore cheetah print recently.
There's so many things that
Wow.
are coming back, and I'm like,
Not low-rise jeans though. Never.
Oh, the
Yeah.
guys are
Flare
gonna
jeans?
love this podcast.
oh, Kendrick Lamar wearing the flare jeans at the Super Bowl
I don't
halftime
understand why there's this whole big thing about why the Super Bowl
Was
halftime
bad?
show was bad.
I thought that it was good, honestly. I mean, like, I loved all the subliminal messages behind it, especially to Drake when he's like, "Hey, Drake," and he looks
looks
at the
right at the
camera and
camera.
smiles. I was like, "That is awesome."
Yeah. I'm not hating hard enough.
Yeah, I think Kendrick Lamar is awesome. I do. Drake is.
Not as good as Eminem, right?
I
Your
wanted.
favorite rapper?
I would love.
I like Eminem too. Yes, Eminem. I don't know if he's my favorite rapper, but I definitely
you said
love
he
Kendrick
was
Lamar.
last time.
I did.
Slim Shady Haney.
He did.
I don't know. I can't really think of any other rappers that I like more.
Slim Shady Haney.
Oh,
So I guess it would be Eminem.
that's a fun fact. Nicole and I used to have Twitter pages, not X pages. This was when it was Twitter, and they
Yeah,
were
way
meme-
back in the
I
day.
still call it Twitter.
throwback.
Just like I'm going to call Facebook Facebook. I'm not calling it Meta
Elon,
or whatever it
Elon,
is.
Why did they
what
change
are you
it?
doing?
Because there was a huge, what happened? There was like a huge data leak or something with Facebook,
No,
right?
Meta is what Meta is like the hierarchy of like they own Facebook. Like it's not Facebook's
No, they-
not called Meta.
I thought they changed the name though.
Meta is like the Meta.
Facebook changed its name to Meta to align with its plans to recreate
But
the
no.
metaverse, a virtual world where people can work, play, and socialize. The name change took place in October 28th, 2021.
Yeah, but Facebook isn't Meta because Instagram also aligns up with Meta. It's just kind
Yeah.
of I think what it's under.
Well, didn't Facebook buy Instagram?
It
Yeah,
did,
a long
but I'm
time
pretty
ago.
sure it is called Meta now. I'm pretty sure it's not called Facebook. See, Facebook
Yeah.
changes its name to Meta.
When though? Because
Something
look at the
happened.
app.
I remember something happened. I don't remember what happened. Oh, you're right.
But
That's weird.
So, I do social media. That's what I do for like work and marketing and that stuff.
Yeah.
So the Meta
Talk
business,
about it.
the Meta Business Suite. There's not going to be much to talk about after this, but the Meta Business Suite is like when you can do like your posting, so you can like schedule a post in like the Business Suite. But I don't know. I'll have to look more. I'm wondering if like they're going to try like creating new things. I mean, Threads is
Did
kind
you
of
see the
in Meta.
Ray-Bans that they came out with? I saw
Yeah.
the commercial with Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth. Did you see that?
Oh, yes, I did.
When they were wearing the Ray-Bans and they're like, Meta, take a snapshot of this or record this.
Yeah.
It's the Ray-Ban sunglasses or glasses, and they're trying to like do something because Elon's doing something with the eyes too, where like you
Yeah.
can control things with the eyes.
It's
Yeah.
giving not good.
World.
It's
It's
what
very
is it?
interesting.
World
I think
domination.
The
not
mark
to get,
of the beast.
Yeah,
not to
literally.
get super political. I think it's interesting because like a lot of people say if you're on the right, just love Elon Musk and a lot of things he's doing. It's interesting because it's really just a lot of conjecture, I guess, because no one really knows. I
Mhm.
think personally between Trump and Elon is that they had similar goals in mind. Like Trump wanted to become president,
Mhm.
and then Elon Twitter, and they kind of their thoughts aligned on a lot of things. But I think now, even when they had this, the what's it called? The Department of
What is it called?
Doge?
Doge, yeah.
Department of General
But Doge was also like a
Expenses. What
crypto.
does it stand?
You want to know what's so weird though too?
It's that
Is-
dumb dog looking thing.
Freaking Elon Musk, like, did not support Trump for a while.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure he didn't like him at first.
Department
Like he
of
said,
Government Efficiency. Sorry, guys, I should have known that.
You're good.
he said like a couple things where he was against Trump
Oh yeah,
at the
well,
beginning,
even-
and then now all of a sudden he's like his biggest fan. And I don't think this happened before our last podcast. But what was that Hail Hitler thing? Do you
Yeah.
remember when he did that?
I'll pull that up actually. So we won't be able to do it with sound, but Nazis.
While you're doing that, I'll get back to the Twitter thing. So basically, when Nicole and I were in high school, we had like Twitter pages, and they were like meme pages of each other.
Yes, they were.
So like my name for Nicole's was like Slim Shady,
Sorry, ignore me. Keep going.
Slim Shady Haney, and then hers was Cameron Likes Goats, and it was like
Yes, it was.
it was so funny. Actually, no, it was Cameron Conolly, and then the name was Cameron. Likes
Yes, that was it. It was just I was stating facts on the page
So
because she
funny.
really likes goats.
She would,
And
I don't actually.
She made this is legit. She made a rap album about goats.
You did?
Yes,
Cam
she
Jam
did.
with the lamb.
Yeah,
Wow.
Cam Jam out
Holy
with my
cow.
lamb out.
Holy cow,
Lamb
that's
out. Oh.
amazing.
That was a good one. That was a banger. It was. There
Yeah.
was lots of bangers on there for sure.
Yeah. So, anyways, here's the Nazi salute that he did. Yeah. So he said, "My heart goes out to you," and watch this. He does it again. My heart goes out to you. Yeah. I don't know if my mic picked it up.
Actually, I haven't seen it. It's
Yeah,
rough.
that's really my brother is a very big Trump fan, and my older brother, well, both of them, let's be honest.
We could talk about like how the
I'm
evangelical
like,
church worships
Elon
Trump.
Musk is supposed to be this genius. I'm like, how stupid are you for doing something like that? Like, he either did it on purpose or he's just stupid, because that's exactly like, who is going to think he's like, oh, my heart goes out to you guys. No, like, what are you doing?
This guy is one of the smartest guys in the world. Do you think he's going to do that by accident?
He's 100% on the
I'm not-
spectrum.
Yeah.
I do think, I do
think.
think that he could be autistic.
Oh, 100%.
You have to be when you're that smart.
Yeah.
You gotta have a little bit of autism.
But also, have you guys seen the Halloween
autism.
costume that he wore? And he was the Antichrist.
When?
Few years
I've
ago.
never heard of this.
He,
I
Yes.
want to.
did.
Look-
He also actually, I think he had a kid with like
He literally-
Grimes
there's
or
an
whatever.
upside-
She's a little scary.
Upside down cross with a goat, which is like the opposite of a lamb. I'm telling you, look up Elon. Yeah. He was the Antichrist. Look at it. Do images. And there, look at this symbol that
Which
is on
one?
his chest. Any of them. Look at this symbol right here. There's a upside down cross right there.
Oh wow! And it is
Because
it is
of
a goat.
this,
Yeah.
and because of that Nazi salute, I am not an Elon Musk fan. I'm not a huge Trump fan. Like, I believe in his
No, I'm not a Trumper.
policies. I believe in his policies because that's it. Whether or
It's
not he's
really
a good
hard
human
to-
being. Like, obviously Kamala isn't a good human being either. Like, you're not going to get a good person regardless. So I believe in his
Kamala's not a
policies.
Marxist though.
But because of this, I am not an Elon Musk fan.
So here's a question I'd like to really quickly. That's a great point, Nicole. Thanks for that. Here's what I wanted to throw to you guys. So it's like, imagine if the roles were reversed, right? Say like Kamala wins, and she has obviously a guy like George Soros is kind of different, but he is a billionaire. that like does a ton of funding for the left. And what if he's just like is able to just start cutting out parts of government that he wants to? Like all of the people on the right would just have a huge uproar, and rightfully so. And that's why, like to a certain degree, when he's doing all this stuff, because him and Vivek Ramaswamy we're doing it together, and then Vivek he left. I was wondering if he was like forced to leave by Elon Musk, because if you think about it, Vivek himself is like he was a businessman in pharma. He's super young. I think Vivek's like just barely 40 or 39 or something like that. And I don't think like two guys. They're both like alpha males, like top 8 bosses, right? It's like you can't have two of them running the same thing. And so right now we'll just kind of have to see what happens. But I just think with Elon Musk, he's just like in it for his own interest. But it doesn't mean everything is bad. But this is so interesting, Nicole, that you brought this up, because not only like I said, is there the upside down cross, which is pretty small, but that's like the goat Baphomet, which is like very,
because it's the opposite of the lamb. Yeah, it's like with the lamb represents Jesus and the goat represents the devil.
Yeah, it's just like I feel like we're just living in a movie and whatever, but it's.
And like you said, like how can someone like this do anything on accident? Like he knew
is so
what he
much
was
smarter
doing.
than any of us.
I mean, and like maybe he is ignorant, like to religion or just to Jesus in general, which is too bad because he doesn't realize the repercussions of him dressing up like this. But when I saw this picture for the first time, like it made me feel like sick to my stomach, you know, seeing the goat with the upside down cross. It's just like it makes you sick kind of.
Yeah, and that's just, you got to be aware of it. But I think when you're just this high up in society, like it's almost hard to imagine that you can't get corrupted by the world or different things, you know.
Or like have a publicist. Like no way he doesn't have someone that's like, this
I
is
think
probably
he
not
might
a good
not
idea.
care.
It's got to be intentional. Like,
yeah, he might not care at
I
that
think
point.
some of the things even that Trump said, like even stuff like, even take something very stupid, like they're eating the dogs, like that's like political propaganda to make.
They're eating the dogs.
Yeah. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Okay,
Sorry
but
to talk about politics.
there were like news stories. I will say, in his defense, there were many news stories going on that people were eating cats and dogs.
Yeah.
So there was something going around at that time that there was stuff like that happening. So it probably wasn't the best move for him to say that because he sounded obviously really dumb. But
yeah, well, he was just using it to be like, hey, this is why we need to close the border and all this stuff. But even, once again, I'm not a Trumper, but I'm not anti-Trump. And I'm definitely now, like, all these, like, executive orders he's doing every single freaking day. Like, he just brought back, like, hostages from, where is the, what's the latest hostage that he released? Where is he from? I don't want to get it wrong, so. I think they were, just from Hamas. Yeah.
From the...
Yeah.
That's crazy. How are there still hostages? How many more are there?
The questions.
Oh, yeah, these were just some of the other questions I had. We didn't even get to half of them. We got a good...
we still have some time.
Yeah, I just think, once again, going back to what we were talking about for the... just like being high up in government and whatever, it's like there's really not much like you can actually do as a normal citizen. It's like, well, how do you stop like a Trump or an Elon Musk? It's like you can't. I mean, like you can be outspoken about it and whatever, but like what change can you actually do in the world? I remember me and my sister were talking about this one time at her place, and it's like, well, I guess you can start like getting involved in like your own local government as like what's the word, mayor? Is mayor? Yeah, governor is first.
Representatives even, like state.
State
Fun fact, this exact room when I was in when I was going to school here before NCA, my gym teacher who was a state representative, this was her office. Wow. Shout out to you, Lynette Peterson. But yeah, that was like a lifetime ago.
I think one of the governors or something, or I don't even know, but he goes
state representative. Yeah.
Kevin, yeah.
Kevin Avard. That's right.
Actually on the worship team.
He is. He's so nice.
Really?
He's a really great guy.
So do you go to switching gears a little bit? Hey, what's up, guys? If you made it this far in the video, this is the end of part 1. Part 2 will be out next Tuesday, so just stay tuned for that. It's very spiritually heavy in a good way and the best way possible. I'm still processing everything that happened. And so just from the testimonies to some other topics we cover, whether it's speaking in tongues, like actually walking out the Spirit, it's just an amazing podcast. And I hope that more and more people keep having these conversations. And I was glad that we were able to just get them on camera and make it happen. So see you next week. Peace.